Good morning. Okay, I know you guys can't really see me right now because it's literally not even 6 in the morning, so it's heckin' dark outside. But I thought we would start today's mini vlog on my walk, and then we can explain further when I get home. What are you doing, Echo?
Can you tell the people that we just went on a big walk? Need some traffic? Okay, y'all, we are back, better than ever. Why does Kayla want to talk to you about the walk we just took this morning? Well, that is a great question. I think, like most people, when the world shut down back in 2020, I also shut down. And I've had little moments of energy and spurts of motivation and getting back in the gym and all that stuff, but I've never kept it consistent. And I'm currently not only at a body composition that I don't like, but I'm also just like physically unwell in the sense of like, I get out of breath so ungodly quickly nowadays that it's demoralizing sometimes. I've just like been racking my brains at how to like fall back in love with physical fitness because it's something I love doing. It's something I did all the time. Growing up, I played sports. I was always working out. I was always doing stuff like that. I got out of high school. I joined the military. Clearly, you were working out pretty consistently then. I've always been a physically capable person. There was one point where I was upset with how I physically looked. And now I've kind of gotten over that hurdle, and I'm just at the point where I'm more upset that I'm not capable of doing things that I used to be able to do, if that makes sense. One big thing that I want to do while I'm still in my 30s is go on like a 3-day backpacking camping trip, taking big hikes, finding a place to camp, spending the night camping, next day, tear down campsite, go on a big hike. In my current physical condition, that's not happening. Ideally, I think like my goal would be 10, at minimum 10 miles a day, and then having like a nice little chillax camping session after the hike. So I need to get back in shape. I feel like I've always had this roadblock, and I think maybe a lot of people have this roadblock in their head, that getting in shape always means working out, as in going to the gym or like being at home and doing some sort of fitness class. And while yes, that is a great form of working out, I think a lot of people, myself included, always forget that walking is actually a great first step when it comes to working out. Just getting in that additional physical activity that you may not get in. You can be walking for 10 minutes a day. You're adding just 10 additional active moments to your day. And now this goal may seem a little big. If we're starting at 0, this goal might seem astronomical to some people, but for me, I think it's a substantial starting point where I will feel like I'm doing something. I plotted out a route that I know is fairly nice, and it is 2.5 miles round trip. To test it this morning, Echo and I did not do the full 2.5 miles. In fact, we only technically did one side of the square, but because obviously we walked back, we'll count it as 2 sides of the square. The plan is in the morning, I'll take one of the girls on this 2.5 mile walk, and then I'll take another one of the girls later in the day on the 2.5 mile walk. So in total, Kayla, will be walking 5 miles. That's where I'm like, this may seem extreme and drastic, but I think 5 miles for me daily isn't bad. And now I say daily, I'm not gonna be doing this every single day. I'm thinking to start, we'll do 3 days a week and then like increase from there. Winter is coming. And I think for the most part, at minimum, I'll be able to get in 2.5 miles a day because Echo has no qualms with the outdoors. I swear, if we let that girl just live outside, if there was such thing as outdoor dogs, she would be an outdoor dog. Jinx, unfortunately, on the other hand, if it drops below 0, like you're lucky if she's able to tolerate the cold for the duration it takes her to use the facilities outdoors. And that's more just because her feet are so sensitive. Like, they've always been sensitive. Even during the summer, they're fairly sensitive. I think her as like a physical coat, a physical dog, she'd be fine outdoors. but it's mostly her paws. That's my update about physical activities and fitness and all that stuff. What are you guys doing? Hello. Hello. That is my random Tuesday morning update for you guys. Good news. We all know Kayla was crying about her car yesterday. Y'all, your brain like goes to the worst possible outcome. Got the call yesterday. They were just like, yeah, you just need a transmission flush, more than likely. Obviously, they might find more once they do the transmission flush, but they're like, yeah, you just need a flush. And I was like, great. I mean, that's pretty much what I told Valvoline I needed. And Valvoline, I mean, ultimately, I will give them this. I would much rather have a mechanic at a garage look over the entire car to determine what potentially could be wrong with it, instead of just getting a transmission flush and still having problems. You know, Klaus is still at the garage, and so I should have my car back today if everything goes well. So not only is it like a huge expense to potentially fix any issues with the car, it's also, if it hit $3,000, I was like, that's a down payment for a car. So I was thinking, well, now I'm gonna have to buy a new car. I mean, I've been thinking about buying a new car, but now I was like, now my hand is being forced. But also, again, as I was getting very sentimental about yesterday, I've lived a lot of life with this car. I've moved from California to Minnesota, from Minnesota to New Hampshire, moved from New Hampshire back to Minnesota in this car. A lot of life has occurred with Klaus. So even though, like, I'm thinking about getting a new car, I still have sentimental attachment to this one. I think that was quite obvious in yesterday's mini vlog. I have been yapping for far too long. I hope you guys are ready to take some adventures with walking over the next few months, year, for the rest of my life, hopefully. My girls are being absolutely wild and crazy, so I'll see you guys later.